Welcome to Three C's in a Pod, episode 30,
Hey,
Celtics edition?
Celtics edition.
Celtics edition. That's what we're going with. Okay, cool. So, all right, you know what? Let's be real. The league's been shitted on for the
hmm
last week and a half now, I believe. So, not too much to talk about, but okay, I'll just go in really quick. What team looks dominant, man. The
It
team
does.
looks like legitimately dominant when everybody plays. Like
I was
obviously
about to say that
Derek,
too. Yeah.
like Derek had a baby. Congratulations to Derek White,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Baby number
Yes.
two. I don't think we know the name of this baby yet, but remember when baby number one Hendricks was born? Motherfucker got dad strength. I
Yes,
think
sir. He
there
did.
was there was a stat going around. Like Derek Wright pre baby and Derek Wright post baby, and it was like a fucking 7-8 point differential.
Bro, he changed, man, after the baby, and that shit has just
Yo,
carried over. Like, Loki. I mean, I guess Loki, you can say that with Freddie too, but with Freddie after the baby, they won the finals, and then
yo,
he was doing his thing next season. But
yeah,
Derek White has carried that shit over. Like,
it has.
we thought that it would be not streaks, but like it would show glimpses and stuff. But nah, he
Mm,
has in totality like upgraded his game, bro, at like a whole
100%.
new level.
Yo,
So we need that
and
dad buff number two.
we got dad buff and we got bald buff, so
Exactly.
we might legitimately have four All Stars this year.
Oh, that would
No,
be
I don't know.
crazy.
But anyway, the team. I think the team looks really dominant. Even last night, specifically in the first half. I don't know how you guys felt, but I felt like we were playing very sloppy basketball.
Yep.
Um, there wasn't really any rhythm to it other than Jason Tatum because Jason Tatum is a monster.
Exactly.
Uh, but man, we I felt like we played really mid and we still won by double digits.
Yeah, I think it
And then
was.
and I thought the Nets were playing well last night too, for the
They
most.
always felt like they like made the shot that they needed to make to
Yeah.
like potentially catch up to us or like overtake the lead and stuff like that.
Mm,
But I also felt the same, and then I just wasn't sure how much that was attributed to like Derek White being out, and I was like, jokes in my head, I was just like, damn, that's how big of a deal he is for this team. And high key, he obviously is because he's such a good glue guy. Plus, like he does even more than a regular glue guy at this point.
yep.
Um, but yeah, in terms of just like energy and the way that we were looking off rip, it definitely was different compared to the past games. Um, but based off pure talent, it was still enough. It kind of reminded me of just like last season stuff,
Mm,
when we weren't shooting at a crazy clip or anything like the beginning of the season, more like mid to late season, I would say, where it felt like we were very talented and we were clearly above them, but it wouldn't ever push to that level. I think Tatum was the biggest differential though,
mm,
um, because he's still playing his game different than last year, of course. Way more efficient and just like confident, I guess. And yeah, it seemed like he was always able to like create a bigger of a gap whenever it felt like it was necessary. So that
yep.
was like super nice to see from him. Obviously, we've always known that Tatum is that guy for us and will do that more times than not. But it definitely seems like he has a clearer read of like the game overall just this year,
Mm,
as well. So
agree.
that definitely helped out with this like the lack of energy, I guess, kind of from this game.
Hey, shout out to Jason Tatum though.
Yep.
10K points.
Facts. That is
No
10K.
facts.
bombs. Yeah,
Yes,
but
sir.
I mean, but yeah, to touch upon it, like, yeah, last night I think out of the three games in the week, definitely was, not the blowout from the last two, but that's a testament to like how, in my opinion, good of the Nets are, and like I think they're just low key like a solid team. And like, and we touched about it last week too. Like, the vibes of the team is just different this year. Like it was a close game throughout like the pretty much all game, right? But when it mattered the most, I feel like we just had that edge, and we
Yeah.
weren't panicking, and we
Yeah.
just made the right plays. Like
Yep.
last year, I feel like in games like that, especially like against the Nets or like teams that we knew we should beat, like we would just collapse at times.
Mhm.
But when it mattered the most, we just we have what four without their our five that was out there, they can make plays, and
Yep.
I think that's just like important, and it was nice to see because it's like I don't have to sit here and panic and be like, damn, like and like my heart gotta be racing, like
Is it
come on,
gonna
you gotta
happen
make a
Yeah.
play,
again?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna happen
Yeah.
again, but it's like now, I feel at ease. I'm like, dude, we're gonna pull it, we're gonna pull through, like
Yeah. That's actually a
yeah,
really good point, right? Because like, okay, I don't want to like overblow this, but because we were 57 and 25 last year. But let's be really real here. If you a Celtics fan, you know when it gets to crunch time, shit gets hella nerve wracking. Like,
oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
because like you just don't know how the teams can perform and execute down the stretch. Like that's been a problem for a very long time. I
mm-hmm.
really do feel, and that's a great point where the ship has been steadied, man. Like
Yeah,
when we're in like crunch time, Miami game a couple weeks ago.
mm-hmm.
I don't think I was obviously nervous because it's Miami. I'm like, all right, we're gonna get trolled. We lose to this fucking team in the fourth quarter. But
Mm-hmm.
it really did feel, and again, same thing as last night. It really did feel like they have a lot more composure this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I understand the clutch record, all that shit. People are gonna throw that out. You know, the green teamers. But the realistic thing is here. I had a heart attack like 25 times last year,
Oh, absolutely.
and I don't think I've had a
For
heart attack
multiple
this year.
seasons, man. But
Yeah,
no,
Exactly.
I actually feel that. It definitely feels a lot less panicky. And as much as it feels like it's additions of Drew and KP, I think it honestly is like Tatum at the end of the day. Um,
mm-hmm.
the way that he's been like moving has
Yo.
been very more like affirmed, and he also has like, I mean, we've talked about it a little bit maybe in chat. I'm not sure in call too much, but or like in the podcast or that much. But just like the shot diet and all that kind of stuff is like
Oh my
insane
god.
compared to
Yeah.
last year. When him attacking the rim, either he wasn't getting calls or he was consistently like getting banged up just driving, or he was taking hard contested threes. That definitely would deflate like either the flow of things or even just like the team overall. But I think him working in the post and like slowing it down more times than not has been able to feel like there's more composure within the team overall.
Mhm.
He's trying to make a read, and then most of the time he's bodying someone who is smaller than him.
Oh
Um,
my god.
so it's like those move or like those reads have been a lot better late in the quarter, and that's why I'm saying like in the fourth he just like is getting into that bag and is like 80% of the time pulling out with something,
Mhm.
and it'll land obviously. So that makes that like fourth quarter crunch time like way easier for us as a team, but even obviously as viewers too, because we're like, all right, we're not just trying to make a three and then like
Yeah.
that'll be when we're like a little bit settled. We're like waiting for that
Exactly.
one shot to hit. It's more so like he's forcing his way into the basketball, also like taking time to make the
Exactly.
right read.
And man, just the shot that thing. I think there was like a chart going around
Bro,
where
that
an
chart is
actual
insane.
it's an actual three level chart, right?
Yeah.
Because last year it was straight up threes and in the paint.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right? And then this year it's literally threes, mid range, paint, and it's all over the court. It's not even just like, top of the key and then inside. It's literally corner, corner, top of the key, fucking all
mm,
around this circle in the mid range.
yeah,
Like this
yeah,
shit is crazy, and it passes the eye test. Like he looks legitimately dominant,
Yep.
and
mm-hmm.
and to a testament to that would be the Washington game, and I believe who the fuck did they play? The Pacers? The
Pacers.
Pacers,
Indiana, yeah,
Pacers.
right? Yo, they only played three quarters, and this
And he still
motherfucker's
has
still
30.
averaging 30. You know
Yeah.
what I
30,
mean?
Insane, man.
39 and fucking 3 and
insane.
4. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Uh-huh.
that's a whole other, and a conversation needs to be had. I don't know. But I'm loving
Hey,
what I'm
that conversation might be real, man.
Has
I think
At
it
this
is,
point,
man.
because
definitely
this is
gonna be
like
real.
this is what the next level was for
Yeah.
me. If he wasn't
Yeah,
able to make, I mean, I'm assuming that we're talking about the same thing, but I was gonna say if he can't close the playmaking gap, to be able.
We might be talking about multiple things here.
Oh, okay,
I
we
yeah.
might be done.
don't know.
We might be, but low
We
key it
might
might
be
be in
talking
the
about some freaky shit, you know?
it might be in the same conversation though,
You
or
know
like relative to the same conversation.
what I
But
mean?
we could save that
Yeah,
for another day.
we can say that for another day.
But yeah, actually being like a true three level scorer has uh, changed the whole like system overall, like on the offensive end.
Mm.
And yeah, I want to see this keep going, man. He could he could do it for once.
Yeah,
He could
he
get that.
could
He could get that that award.
maybe.
Mm-hmm. Hey man, but yeah, you definitely can see the difference though. Like especially in last night's game. I don't know if you remember that one play. I think he it was on the defensive end. Like
Mhm.
someone got a steal, he got the ball, and then he made. I think he ooped it to Al or something like that. But then
Yeah.
he definitely he kind of like picked up the team, was like, come on, let's go, like we
Mm-hmm.
got to get it. And I
Mhm.
feel like once he now he's taking more of that leadership role, and I think that's another testament to
Oh my
of
god. Yeah.
becoming an MVP. I mean, I know he's not shooting for that. Like
Yeah.
that's not like he's just not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna go get this MVP. He's just out there hooping. Like
Mhm.
so this year, I think that's probably the best way he could carry himself. Like he's just gonna go and do what he got to do, and let everything else follow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, and one thing too, just to kind of like take the time to appreciate it. This is this is a dude that's elevated his game every single year.
Of course.
So and it's kind of scary because you would think, okay, like Kyle was saying, like, will he take that next step? And that motherfucker is taking the next step every single year.
Mm-hmm.
Every year. Yep.
So, and I honestly did not think he would be average. I don't know about you guys, but I thought he would drop a couple points
Oh,
with
100%.
the
And I mean,
lineup
it
we
is only
have.
5 games for sure,
It's only
but
5 games, but yo, the way he's moving, I
yeah,
don't
no,
know,
he's
man.
just extremely efficient, which is the thing that
Yeah,
we weren't expecting. Which
Yeah.
is fine. Like we know, like he
yeah,
uh will be there when we need and all that kind of stuff, and he has. We're used to his hot and cold efficiency streaks. Like he'll always be a
Mhm.
good scorer and uh, be able to get it done when needed to be. But
yeah,
we've obviously seen him like either start out really slow or have like 3 point shooting slumps or something like that. Even in the playoffs, sometimes it gets a little bit harder
Mhm.
for him to get his shots off and stuff. But I don't know if we've seen this kind of like efficiency in this kind of way. He's had like
yeah,
crazy post All Star break 3 point shooting like efficiency.
yeah.
But in this kind of like there was always kind of something missing. But in this regard, it's
Yeah.
just fully
This
complete,
is
dude.
this is the entire facet of his game has been unlocked,
Yeah.
and it's crazy to see from a number one option.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like he did have relatively similar efficiency when he was younger and a rookie, except minus like finishing at the rim. I
I
think
think
that's
yeah,
always
that,
been
that
a
was
problem
definitely
with
the
him.
biggest thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then now he has finishing at the rim. He has post game. He's facilitating from the post. He's the three balls back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucker shooting
He
44% from
was.
three. Like, I know
Yeah,
it's
Yeah.
I
only
think so,
five
but
games.
He's going
I know it's
crazy.
only 5 games. Knock on wood, right? But holy shit, like I don't. The last time we saw a sidestep three go in so consistently was in 2022.
oh yeah,
So like,
it's
I
crazy
mean,
to see
because last
Yeah.
year he was shooting what 20% from that shit. So
something like that.
Yeah.
I think for the pull ups, it was
yeah,
probably under 30, and then for
Yeah.
catch and shoot, it was probably like a little under
yeah.
40, or
But
just
Yeah.
listen,
around
man,
40.
agendas are thriving right
Mm-hmm.
now.
Absolutely, I will take those
I,
any day.
I will say though, obviously we have way more pros. Don't want to nitpick too much, but I will say I do have concerns with the bench still. I
Always, yeah.
know, I know. They broke a record. I think in the fourth quarter of that Pacers game, they dropped 46 points
Mm-hmm.
just with the bench unit. Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard, won somebody 50 grand. Um, but yo, outside of that one outlier game, they've looked really bad. Um,
I agree.
and I don't know if with I mean Derek's not gonna have a baby every month or something,
There,
but
there could
like
be other pieces missing, yeah, for
but
sure.
at some point we're gonna need to give JB his rest night. We're
Yep.
gonna need to give KP his rest night. We're gonna have to give JT his rest night, Drew his rest night. Like somebody's gonna have to fill in throughout the season. I don't care too much about the playoffs. I know the rotation shortened, and we talked about this where it's like the bench is important, but with the level of talent that we have across the board, it's not like the end all be all. But I would like to see maybe a piece get added somewhere, maybe with
Yeah,
that trade exception. I don't know who's there, but I don't like the way the bench has been playing at all.
I pretty much agree. That's always going to be the like main concern in my opinion, with the bench stuff. I think uh, there's no way that Brad isn't thinking about that or like trying to, add something to it. So I have faith in that. If post trade deadline or like even um, picking up free agents and stuff afterwards, or like
Mhm.
buyout players.
Yeah.
If none of that happened, then I would for sure have some kind of concern. um,
Yep.
because yeah, it just doesn't seem like there's a lot of create like just shot creation at that point. And
Mhm.
like Pritchard
Mhm.
is that guy for us off the bench.
Yep.
But obviously he can be very limited. And he's like a tough shot maker, but it's hard to be a tough shot maker at like such a small
Yeah.
size. Even if
Yeah.
he has like all the skills, and as we can see or as we saw in preseason, like it's there. Like he can do those things even against like NBA like bodies and all that stuff. But
Mhm.
it's hard to rely on the consistency of that
Yeah.
with his size and obviously his style of play. So after that, it just doesn't feel like there's anyone else who can do something. They
Mhm.
all fill like very good roles. Like I think of Brissett and Cornette and Hauser with his 3-point shooting and stuff like that. But
Yep.
if they aren't hitting on those things, then they're
It-
basically useless.
Yeah. Pretty
exactly.
much.
So
Yeah.
so being able to find someone who can do a little bit more than just one singular role or maybe like two singular roles off the bench would probably be
Hmm.
like the priority. And like you said, I don't know who those targets are, who they even like could be at the moment.
Mm.
But for sure, that bench is like not hitting right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, off the top of my head, I think a name that like instantly came to mind was Terrence Ross. I mean, I know he's
Mm.
still a free agent, but like, yeah, he. I think we all know what he's capable of. It's like a
Yeah.
instant, scorer off the bench. He create his own shot.
Mm.
I think that's kind of like the exact like player we need. But like, not saying Terrence Ross, but definitely Brad's gonna keep an eye on the market and stuff.
Hmm.
But
Mm.
also another name that could probably like I think we did talk about it last season too. Is Alec Burks. I think he'd be a
Mm.
perfect fit.
Alec Burks
Uh,
is just too good, man.
He would need to get
no,
bought. I think he would need to get bought out though
No, he
because
would.
we
He
don't
would.
have the
yeah,
He's just
salary.
he
too
would.
good. Like, there's no way that he doesn't add value to something like within a trade, you know.
Mm.
That's for sure.
But obviously, that'd
But
be the dream. That'd be the dream.
yeah, we gotta manifest something.
Exactly.
But the Pistons won't be too great this season. But we'll
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
Yeah. But really, honestly though, but to start the season, I know that's a minor concern at the
Hmm.
moment. Low key major.
Hmm.
But at the moment it's a minor concern because all things are clicking, right? We're firing on all cylinders.
Yep.
But yeah. And I will say this though. I do think regarding the bench, I would like to see O'Shea get more consistent minutes.
I agree.
I know he played a lot the last couple games,
Yeah.
but
No, he's that done.
those were blowout. Most of them were blowouts, and then this last one was because Derek was out.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So I would like to see him get more run, see how he can fit in with this group because I think the energy is important, right? If anything, right, we talk about bench production. Production's not the only thing that's important. It's also like energy and defensive ability,
Yeah.
and I think he 100% has that.
And we
You know,
have like a
maybe
good amount of guys who do that.
yeah,
So I would
exactly.
say, or like I guess to go alongside what you're talking about,
Mhm.
outside of just like the actual bench pieces, I do think the rotation should be, you know, figured out a
Yeah.
little bit more. Um,
Hmm.
and we talked about that in that first episode or the first week, where we think that, or me personally, I just think that he's testing things out with the starters and all that. I hope that
Yeah.
it's not the case for down the line,
Yeah.
because I would like to see him open up the bench more. Like obviously, Svi and Lamar Stevens haven't really had a lot of run,
Yeah.
but every time I've seen them, they've always seemed like they are doing something. Um,
Yeah.
and that doesn't mean like they're taking the spots of someone else or anything like that, but just offer more variety and see. I feel like we got this bench to be able to throw multiple pieces out and see
Hmm.
like who is doing something good that day and like
Right.
rolling with them. I could be wrong and that's not the vision, and it was kind of figure it out in behind the scenes and practices and all that kind of stuff, and then figure
Hmm.
out that pecking order. But based off of like everything that I thought with all the pickups, it was kind of like, yeah, the guy who's rolling, whether it's Lamar Stevens or O'Shea Brissett, because they have a similar uh, tendencies and play style and energy.
Hmm.
Whoever's on that day, you're gonna roll with that guy. Maybe like O'Shea is above him most of the time,
Right.
but
Right.
if he's not hitting at that time, like throw Lamar Stevens in, he could be hitting that day, and that's like what we roll with. But it doesn't seem like Joe has wanted to do that yet. And like I said, I'm not sure what idea
Yeah.
of that is yet, but I'm personally keeping an eye out for it for sure.
For sure. All right. So honestly, that's really all we had.
Yep, not too much stuff.
Not too much
But we'll
stuff.
take it. We'll take it.
Hey, we'll take it. Honestly, if it's like this all season, I'll be a very happy person. Probably the least stressful I've had of a season, other
Yep.
than like the transition year and like
Absolutely. Oh my
that's
god.
it, man. Stress,
Mhm.
stress, stress. But it's good. It feels good to be at the top of the league, only undefeated team in the association.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
We're sitting pretty as Celtics fans right now. All right.
Yep.
Till next time.
Peace.
Peace.